It's time now to take a look at the day's business news. I'm joined on the set by Yuka Royer. Hi, Yuka.
Hi, Jenny.
So, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, the man who's going to take Biden's place, is threatening to slap new tariffs on the U.S.'s three biggest trading partners. Tell us about that.
Well, Jenny, Mr. Trump is set to take office on January the 20th, and he says that his first action as president will be to sign executive orders to hit China, Mexico, and Canada with steep tariffs unless they stop the flow of illegal drugs and migrants into the United States. If he makes good on these threats, the move could cripple global supply chains. Eliza Herbert has more.
And I say the most beautiful word in the entire dictionary of words is the word tariff. I love tariff.
Donald Trump has turned his love for tariffs into threats. Taking to social media, he has vowed that on his first day in office, he will implement a 25% tariff on all products from Mexico and Canada to crack down on drugs and illegal border crossings.
This tariff will remain in effect until such time as drugs, in particular fentanyl, and all illegal aliens stop this invasion of our country. Both Mexico and Canada have the absolute right and power to easily solve this long, simmering problem.
Mere hours later, he brought China into the mix, saying they had failed to curb illegal drug shipments and therefore their goods would be slapped with a 10% duty on top of additional tariffs. In response, a Chinese embassy spokesperson immediately warned that no one will win a trade war. Fears relate to the impact on global supply chains as well as domestically in America. China, Canada and Mexico are the US's three biggest trading partners. Together they provide nearly $1.5 trillion in imports, but the US's trade deficit with them has been niggling Trump. The tariffs would also impact key US industries such as auto manufacturers, agriculture and food suppliers that ship parts and goods across the borders and support tens of millions of jobs. Ironically, tariffs would also violate the terms of the North American Trade Agreement between the US, Mexico and Canada, signed by Trump himself in 2020.
And Yuka, this new threat of tariffs is really rattling the markets, isn't it?
Well, global stocks retreated as companies potentially exposed to this new threat, like manufacturers that have plants in Mexico, saw their shares sink. European shares are trading in the red as investors consider potential impacts of the new measures on global supply chains. Automakers and parts manufacturers are among the worst performing sector. Stellantis is hit the hardest as it also owns Chrysler, Dodge and Fiat, American car makers, and a quarter of its North American sales are made in Mexico, Jenny.
Turning on now to another big trade issue. France's lower house of parliament is voting on a controversial trade deal between the European Union and South American countries today.
Well, lawmakers this afternoon will debate and then vote on the EU-Mercosur trade agreement this afternoon, which will then head to the Senate. It's a largely symbolic move and won't be legally binding, but it could give more weight to France's staunch opposition to the trade agreement, which was agreed 5 years ago but never formally signed. If ratified, the FTA will cover more than 750 million consumers and 1/5 of the global economy. Negotiators from all sides are set to meet next week in Uruguay, and there are hopes the deal could be sealed there. Angry farmers, meanwhile, continue to protest as they fear an onslaught of cheaper agricultural products flooding in from the South American trading bloc, which they say will enjoy an unfair advantage due to looser regulation. Among EU members, Germany and Spain are leading the 11 nations strongly in favour of the deal, while France and Austria are against. Paris is seeking to rally a blocking minority, as Poland's Prime Minister just said today that his government was also opposed to the deal.
And there's one French retail giant that's really been caught in the crossfires of all of this.
And that's the French supermarket chain Carrefour. That's facing a backlash in Brazil after its chief executive promised local farmers in France that the company will keep South American meat off its shelves. CEO Alexandre Bompard said last week that the Mercosur trade bloc presented, quote, the risk of meat production spilling over into the French market and failing to meet its requirements and standards in an apparent effort to appease farm lobbies. This sparked an outcry in Brazil. Major meat packers there, such as JBS and Marfrig, have stopped supplying meat to Carrefour stores in the country. Brazil's Agriculture Minister Carlos said he was happy with that move, labelling Carrefour's pledge as an orchestrated action by French companies to sabotage the trade pact.
Yuka, thank you so much for that. That's Yuka Roye with your business update. You stay